Okay, all right. So you should be able to see this screen here to begin to follow us, and just go directly links.
Yeah, we could. All of these are going to be connected on our website, but since we're kind of running short on time, we're just going to go directly to it from the links that I have versus going to the website to the auction calendar and then clicking on it. So this is an upcoming auction in Nebraska. It's taking place essentially as we speak. It's going to be really the 6th, next couple of days. It's going to start going. But this is a online auction in Nebraska. Now, this is the only county in Nebraska that has online auctions. All of the other ones have live auctions. But we want to go through and we want to look at a couple of upcoming tax lien sales, some upcoming tax deed sales, just to get an idea. So what we do is we're just going to click on preview items for sale. Once we get to the auction page, then we're going to see a list of all of the tax lien certificates. Now, what we generally like to do is search by face amount. For us, that kind of helps break it down because we don't have a huge amount of information to view off this list. All we really have is the parcel number, which doesn't mean anything to us, and the face amount. And so we're going to be basing the investments that we're looking at off the face amount. You know, just kind of, this was just kind of fun. Let's look at this one for $569,000. Obviously, a huge tax lien certificate. But
yeah, it's a single tax lien.
But when we're looking at it, we can see that this property has value of about $24 million, and it's what, 13 acres, 14 acres, and it's a massive hotel, and it's also a pretty nice newer hotel as well. Yeah, 13.95 acres. But when you're looking at, I mean, $500,000, $600,000, that's an incredible amount of money. But if you were investing that money, you know, $600,000 earning 14% interest rate return against a property that's worth $24 million.
Yeah.
That's a great investment because, you know, worst case scenario, you're going to be making 14% off your money this next year. You know, if you had the opportunity to foreclose on it, now you've taken a $600,000 investment and made, you know, $25 million.
Yeah, millions, you know, with it. Yeah, it is an incredible investment, you know, you can see here.
But, you know, that's out of the range for most of us. So let's look at some tax liens that are a little bit lower in price. So what we'll do is we're just going to kind of jump up a few until we can get maybe some tax liens around. Oh, here's some good price, around 2,000. Let's see what we can find. So you see it's a residential. You see the address there as well. It's on 2610 Washington Street in Omaha.
You know, is it land?
Yeah, it actually doesn't look like it's that great of an investment based off the price. It's interesting. Let's look at another one.
Let's see what we see here.
Most of these ones I looked at around this were really good. Okay, here's one that's more typical. So we can see here, this is a residential home. We have the address. We can see that the, you know, improvement value is $95,000. Total value is about 111 as far as the county assessed. On 0.82 of an acre, we can see the home right there. So
you know, yeah, basically it's a $2,500 tax lien against this house.
Yeah.
You know, and it's highly secure because the property has a lot more value than $2,500. You know, so with this lien, I mean, we would already know these liens can be purchased without a lot of concern for investment security because the money is so highly secure.
Yeah, exactly. You know, with a lot of these different type of investments, we can determine pretty quickly that it's going to be a good, safe investment. You know, and so when it comes to that, we'd really just be on bidding on ones that we can get at the best interest rate we can. So maybe if one that's a little bit cuter or cooler or whatever, you know, a little bit nicer, ends up bidding down to 8%, but we can get one that has the same value at 14%, we'll go with the 14%.
Yeah. Here's another one, you know, another $2,000 tax lien in a property that's worth $189,000, you know, and you can see the images of it right here. Your money is very secure, you know, essentially either you get your money back plus the interest rate return, or you get the right to foreclose on the property.
Yeah, exactly. You can also see when the photo was taken, which is always nice. Helpful 2014. So if we wanted to, we could check this property.
We could check out the actual market value on something like Zillow if we wanted and see what that was at. Although with just the information we've got here, there's more than enough to here, to be able to justify investments.
Yeah, exactly. We'll check with Google Maps and the market values before investing. But just based off that information, unless there's something that's come up recently, and that's one thing that's nice about a lot of the Google Earth images, the overview images, the satellite images are from 2017 or 2018. So they're at least semi-new. So unless there was some type of major catastrophe, which is so rare, and even then the property value itself and insurance and things like that come into play. So
here's another $1,000 tax lien. So this one only costs $1,000, but it's placed against a property that is valued at.
And they've really dropped that value down from 2015 to 2016.
Look at that. I mean, in 2013 it was valued at 126. Today, 2018, 42.
In 2009.
Yeah, this one's a commercial property. You can see here.
That's the reason. Look at it. Speed up.
Yeah. Interesting investment.
That actually, those are the type of properties you actually might have a better chance of acquiring.
Yeah.
And at $1,000, I'd pick that one up in a minute.
Awesome investments, $1,000 tax liens.
And so you can kind of go through this process, register for one of these auctions, go through, research these set bid amounts on these different tax liens, and you could set everyone at 13% and see which ones you win. There's a lot of flexibility when it comes to this. So let's go ahead and check out another auction. This is actually going to be an auction that happens at the county courthouse. But since it's in Maryland and the tax lien sale, we wanted to take a look at it. You'll see it's happening March 9th. Registration begins in the morning, and then the auction begins at 1 o'clock. So it's just going to be held right there at the Maryland county courthouse. But what we do have here is a list of the tax lien certificates. Now, one thing we like is if there is an online list like this one, because what separates this list from like an Excel list is that there's going to be some links here that we can click on, a map link, and then also a tax account link that makes it a little bit easier to research. So we can see what the assessment is, the taxes due, and what some of these properties are. So let's click on a couple of these tax account numbers and look into some of these properties.
Let's see. So like for instance,
we'll just see.
Yeah, this one right here has $2,400 owed. It says it's valued at $100,000. So we click on it here to see what we can learn about it, and we can see some things right off the bat here, about the property. We can see that it's listed as residential, property. We can see
the address there as well. It's on 2240 Piney Point Road. So we can look up that property on Google if we wanted to get a better idea.
Yeah, we can see it's 4 acres of land.
Yeah, that's a big lot.
The land's base value is about $100,000. So you've got a big chunk of land that's valued at about $100,000. That it has a lien against it for $2,500.
Now, one thing we might be able to do is go up here to the top and click on the map and see what type of map feature they have for us. That's not my favorite type.
It just doesn't have the layers that some of the other ones do, But we'll look at some others, but based on the value, it's one would look into. Yeah, I think. Well, I'm sure many of these would all be, all be great investments.
So this one looks like
it's a townhouse.
Yeah, 1,400 square feet.
Valued at about $226,000. Which is.
And how much was this tax lien again?
It is for clicked on it here. It's for $1,000, I thought.
Yeah. Oh well. Let's
That's right here. It's this one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You want to check out some actual tax deeds? I mean, for liens, essentially what we're saying here is that when it comes to liens, it's a great way to invest money and earn a good high interest rate return safely. For those that are looking for that kind of investment, it's perfect. But some of you are looking for the best way to take a small amount of money and turn it into a lot more. And the best way to do that is with acquiring property. You need the ability to buy low, sell high, buy low, sell high, and keep repeating that process. You want to build up and create some real working capital and money. And the best way to do that is through tax deeds.
Yeah, we've got a ton of different tax deed auctions we can look at. God, there's just so many that are taking place. But one thing we want to do is look at Citrus County. Let's go ahead and check on the 21st. Looks like there's quite a few properties. There were just quite a few really nice properties on this list when I was looking at it the other day. But it's typical of many of the different types of lists. So let's go ahead and scroll down it. And what we're looking for when we're looking at a list, so that you guys know, is we're looking at this opening bid amount versus the assessed value. So as we're scanning the list, we're actually looking at that amount, and if the assessed value and the opening bid, we can see here the opening bid is $2,000, the assessed value is $2,000. These are what properties that we're usually not going to worry about unless it is. But now we can start seeing, some different properties. Let's see. One down there below that had more.
Here.
Yeah, let's look at that one.
Yeah, this one opens up at $11,000. Says it's assessed at $180,000, and also has a property address listed there. Anything?
No. Okay.
Single family home.
Yeah, we can click on here. We can see over here on the photo, on the side, there's all different types of tabs. We can click on the photo, see if there's a photo of the property. And there is. Looks like a pretty nice home. There's a map that we could click on as well. We could go through and research all of the county records. In fact, if we're investing in this property, we're going to research all of these different tabs in detail. But as we're just going through and looking at it quickly, we can see, it really looks like a pretty nice home. It looks like it's on a golf course actually as well. You can see the golf course in the between the two properties. So, at this point, let's go ahead and check it out on Google Maps and Zillow real quick, just to kind of get an idea. But just looking off that information, it looks like a pretty good investment. So even if you had to compete and maybe a bid up to $40,000, you're still looking at a very nice property with a potential huge return. Yeah, that's a nice neighborhood. A little bit older, but nice.
Yeah, looks like the street side image is a little older. We can almost see it a little bit better, from just shortly up here. But really, a great investment, unquestionably.
Yeah, one little tip that me and She'd like to do is when we're looking at one of these properties, we'll use Google Alert to kind of investigate the area a little bit, the neighborhood. See, is this the best house on the street, or is it the worst house on the street, or just to kind of get an idea, of the neighborhood to help us. If it's one of the worst house on the street and all the other houses are pretty well upkept, that everyone's going to be a big supporter. That's an area where there's not a ton of abandoned homes or things like that.
Yeah. You want me to move on to?
Yeah, there's a ton of property in here we could look at. They're similar, but yeah, let's check out another county. There's probably 20 different homes kind of like that in that auction. Let's look at. In fact, that list that I sent you. Let's look at the list real quick. I download just because I'm going to make it a little. I don't know. Let's see.
Is it this?
No, Rica. Oh, the Santa Cruz. The reason I want to show you guys this list real quick is this is kind of what me and Shade will do when we're looking at an upcoming property. Essentially, what we did is we downloaded the Excel list, and the properties in red are ones that are essentially have been redeemed. The properties in greens are ones that we're interested in, and the whites are ones that we're not interested in. It probably took me about 15 or 20 minutes to go through the electronic list and determine which ones we liked, which ones we didn't. But what this allows us to do is didn't spend a lot of time, but if we were preparing and we wanted to do this auction, we know exactly which properties are available, which ones we're interested in researching, and which ones we're not. So we can go and look at the online list and kind of go through and look at a few of those properties there as well. So I think that's, what was that? The Santa Cruz?
Mm-hmm. All right, so we could go down here and take a look at.
Yeah, we probably gotta move the. Yeah, so we can go ahead and take a look at the APN numbers. Most of the first ones are. You see the ones that aren't withdrawn, we can take a look at. On the list I had the green ones, which were, let's see.
240 Hayward Drive. Minimum bid of 12,300.
Might be that 12,400. Okay, so this one we can see has a $100,000 value. We can click on the GSI map to find out more information about this property. I think this might have been we got to click on that GSI web. And this is one thing we want to talk about as well quickly is the map features and the advantages of having these online maps with different layers that you can use.
Well, it used to be that the only way we could get information like this was to travel down to a county records building and get the physical records or dig through to find the physical records there. But these types of online tools like systems like this have dramatically improved or made this so much easier, than it ever was before, in terms of just pulling up and doing this research.
The wrong address, actually. I think I remember this. We got to go back and grab the PIN number real quick, because I remember looking. I think it's the county office that they honed in on. So I was like, that is a huge building for saying it's only worth $100,000. Let me put it right there in the search value. Oh yeah, it does have a home with it.
We can see down here the size address. I'm sure we can look it up.
Yeah, and if we had time, we'd go through and look up each one of these properties on Google. We'd check it up with Zillow, and then of course, if we were planning on bidding, we'd do even more due diligence before the sale. But overall, we look at a home has value with a
significant.
About 10% of the value is what essentially the assessed value.
Yeah, well, and that's really what we're looking for here, and that's what's possible with tax deed investing. Is it's possible the ability to find property and acquire it for 10% of what it's worth, for 10 cents on the dollar, is possible and has been done, and it's been done for even cheaper. In many cases, we picked up property for less than 5% of what it's worth. And when you pick property up for this cheap of a price, we're talking about buying a lot of the properties that we buy, we pay less than $200 for. We're talking about buying real estate, land, usable property, building lots for $100, $200, $300 that are worth thousands. And it's a tremendous opportunity and the only one like it, in the country. There's nowhere else and no other way you can buy real estate this cheap or or buy anything like this.
Well, that's really the great thing about tax lien and tax deed investing. Even if you just want to try to save a little bit of money and you want to put it towards an investment, you don't have a ton of money, but you can put towards $500 a year, then buying a tax lien certificate is a great way to an investment. Let's say you want to make some money. Well, then with tax deed investing, you could start out buying these $100 to $1,000 lots that Shade's talking about. Or if you had more investment than that, then you could purchase some of these more expensive properties that have a little bit bigger, they have, I guess, more chance to make a higher return, bigger type of deals. And so you could start out really almost at any investment level, purchasing tax lien certificates and tax deeds. I mean, your first tax lien was what, 68 or something? Mine was 112. Mm-hmm. Those were our first taxes we ever purchased, and both of them redeemed. We made our money back. And so, when it comes to tax sale investing, there really is just, I've never found a better opportunity. And that's probably the reason we're so passionate about this, and why we just stuck with it for the last 20 years, is because there's just not a better way that we can see that's safer to make money and that has more opportunity for profit than through tax sale investing.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing that's also certain is that people are looking for better ways to make money investing. They're looking for ways to invest their money, and there's not a better way to get involved and to buy real estate than through tax sales. It is just hands down, the most profitable method out there, and also one that's not understood by a very high percentage of people. It's a very small niche little group of people that understand how this works, and therefore, if you can be one of those that figure this out and understand it and begin doing it, you'll be one of the very few, that are experts in this, and that can make a lot of money doing this because of the skills and the knowledge you possess.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have the courage, and it really is courage to pull the trigger and to do deals, then you're going to be successful. I mean, we have some investors we've worked with where, they knew the system well, and they know everything you can know about tax and lien investing, but they were still too afraid to pull the trigger. And so, doing that first couple of deals, especially, there's not a lot of risk when you're investing in a $200 or $300 lien or a $500 deed or something like that.
It's one of the benefits of paying less for property is, you're automatically reducing your overall risk because you're paying less, therefore you've got less money that's on the line, but it also increases your potential profitability. There's no other way you can buy real estate for as cheap as a couple $100, that's valued at thousands. And there are so many opportunities out there for tax sale investors, like seller financing, like for instance, being able to buy property, land for as little as $100, $200, and being able to offer seller financing, sell it off to somebody for thousands, or maybe a $500 down payment plus $200 a month for 2 years. Things like that weren't possible 30 years ago because things were not set up. You couldn't sell property like that. But with the internet today, with all the sales methods and tools we have out there, and with our ability to now find these properties and buy these properties online, it's something that's never existed before. There's legitimately an opportunity here to be able to work from your computer and make money investing in real estate.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one thing we might want to do quickly is kind of bring up our website and show you quickly before we close some of the tools that are available. What me and Shade have tried to do is to give the investors or the members we work with an opportunity to get as much information as they can for really a incredibly good price on a month-per-month basis.
Yeah, you can become a member for just $30 a month and get training, like trainings we do every week, get access to all the lists that we already go through and find and download and provide there, to be able to get support and help your questions, training materials. We wanted to make this a service that anybody can afford and be able to utilize, to get involved and invest, and which is ultimately really what it is.
Yeah, and a lot of people have come to us through our YouTube videos, which we have a ton of YouTube videos out there. But what we don't post on our YouTube videos is a lot of our specific weekly member trainings. Every week, me and Shay do a webinar similar to this, but we're doing about specific topics. You know, how to buy tax deed and where to buy tax deed land cheap, or you know, the bidding methods, or how you buy at auction, how you compete with other bidders, the different, you know, ways and strategies in bidding. All of these other different topics we're going to be doing we do every single week, and we have a huge database of additional training. In addition to that, we also provide the tax sale list. Now, the way that we provide the tax sale list is we just get them directly from the county. We've been doing it for almost 15 years now, and we have relationships and are on so many mailing lists that we get you know, a good majority of the auction lists that are coming in, especially all the important ones. You know, I'm sure that there's little auctions with a few properties here and there we get out of, but we get a majority of all of the tax sale list, and we can go to the auction calendar and see some of the upcoming auctions. We have our over-the-counter database, which has literally, you know, hundreds of thousands of different liens and deeds that are available for purchase.
Yeah, we basically did everything we could here through our service, through your membership, to try to simplify the process and also make it affordable for anybody to get involved with and to invest with. So you don't have to break the bank to start learning about this stuff and to get all the information that you would need to become an investor. You know, you just become a member here of tax sale support, and you will have enough. But in addition to that, you know, we also love working with the members that we have. We love helping people understand how all of this works and watching the light bulb turn on when they finally begin to grasp it. And then furthermore, it's rewarding to watch people develop skills that have the power to change their lives. And make no mistake about it, you learn tax lien and tax deed investing, you become one of the very few that really understands it and that can make money with it.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're interested in becoming a member, all you've got to do is go to our service tabs and click on the membership, and it'll have a form you can click on and register and sign up. As Shay mentioned, you can cancel at any time. In fact, we're so confident, you know, we offer a money-back guarantee, and it's not something we've had to do, I think, but once the entire time we've offered over the last year and a half or two. It's not, most people, even if they only stay on for 3 months or 4 months or something like that, they're satisfied, they're happy, they're just, at that point, they've got the education and they've moved on.
Well, you know, there's nothing worse than overpaying for something that's lousy, you know, something that you thought was going to be great that turns out to be nothing. But there's also nothing better than underpaying for something that's really valuable and that has a lot of resources and help. And that's really what the membership's all about. It's not a ton of money, $30 a month, but you know, provides so many things for that I think a lot of people stick with it just because it's a cheap way to be able to access all the information.
No, absolutely. And it's not just the list, the over-the-counter list. You can go through and look at, in our training center, we have all different types of information, link pages that gives you links to all of self-directed companies, just all the information that we can provide over the last 20 years of knowledge. We tried to put in this website to provide you guys with as much training. We have our home study program in a PDF that you can download. That was the program that sold from $2,000 to $4,000 all across the country. Just the difference is it's a PDF versus a book form.
Yeah, so you know, I think before you go off and spend any real money for training anywhere, you should come here. You should try out the membership, and you should see what else we have to offer here, because we promise we can offer a lot more bang for the buck. And also, we are also one of the few companies in this type of industry that really care about your success and making sure that that you do well with it, and that you're not out there blowing thousands of dollars on training or help that really doesn't help you at all.
Yeah, if we didn't believe it, we definitely wouldn't be on the call this morning.
Yeah.
You know, this is something we believe in. It's something we're passionate about, And hope that we can have some of you guys that are listening that aren't members maybe join the program, and we can see some of your success happen in the future.
Absolutely. We look forward to maybe working with you down the road. Thanks so much for joining us today for this Saturday morning workshop.
Yep, you guys have a great week, and we'll also send out a replay for those that are interested or maybe missed some of it.
Yeah. So, hey, have a great Saturday.